Most self-builds don't fail because of money. They fail because of bad assumptions. Most people start a self-build with a clear number in mind, a budget that feels realistic, based on size, materials, and what they think things cost. But construction budgets rarely stay fixed because that initial number isn't just a calculation, it's a set of assumptions. And many of those assumptions don't hold once the project begins. One of the biggest gaps is what isn't included. Early budgets tend to focus on visible elements, walls, roofs, finishes. But a large portion of costs sit outside the structure itself. Site preparation, soil conditions, grading, drainage, utility connections, permits, fees. For example, running utilities to a rural site can cost anywhere from $10,000 to over $50,000, depending on distance and access. And these costs happen early, before the house even starts to take shape. Then there's price variability. Material costs are not static. Over the past few years, key construction materials have experienced significant volatility. Lumber prices alone have seen swings of over 100% within a single year. Concrete, steel, insulation, all subject to supply chains, fuel costs, and regional demand. So a budget created months earlier may no longer reflect current prices by the time materials are purchased, and small percentage increases on large categories quickly become thousands of dollars. But the most underestimated factor is decision timing. In theory, everything is decided upfront. In reality, many decisions happen during construction. Fixtures, finishes, systems, details that weren't fully resolved during planning. And late decisions are expensive decisions, not because the item itself costs more, but because it disrupts the process. A delayed decision can hold up an entire phase of work, or force a last-minute purchase from whatever is available rather than what was planned. There's also a psychological factor, optimism. Studies in project planning consistently show that people underestimate costs and timelines, a pattern known as optimism bias. In construction, this often shows up as, we'll figure it out later, or it won't cost that much, but later is almost always more expensive. This is why many self-builds go over budget, not because the numbers were wrong, but because the uncertainty was ignored. A realistic budget isn't a fixed number. It's a range, often with a contingency of 10% to 20%, sometimes more for complex projects. Because in construction, the challenge isn't predicting the cost. It's absorbing the unknowns. And the projects that succeed aren't the ones that guess perfectly. They're the ones that plan for what they can't predict. This is Builder Brief. We're building a space for serious, system-level conversations about housing, land, and construction beyond headlines and beyond politics. Our goal is simple: to understand how the built environment actually works and why it affects all of us. If you find this work valuable, consider subscribing and supporting the channel. It helps us continue producing independent, data-driven analysis like this.